Welcome to the Licensed to Live show, where professionals, doctors, champions, VIPs, attorneys, and those in public office discover strategies that help you restart and gain what is lost when you find yourself accused. If another has doubted your integrity, questioned your credentials, or caused your actions to come under scrutiny, you are in the right place. On the other hand, if you have never felt the knot in the pit of your stomach when legal papers are served, the heartbreak of disappointing your family when the lock clicks shut on handcuffs, or had to appear before a board of review, then be aware, the longer you serve, the more likely you are to find yourself under the microscope of those who judge. Prepare yourself for this uncomfortable possibility. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jarrett Patton.
Welcome to this episode of Licensed to Live. My name is Dr. Jarrett Patton, and I'm your host for our journey together today and every day you choose to listen to this show. If you or anyone you know has been dissed in their career, please invite them to join us along this journey. Simply go to your favorite podcast player and hit subscribe to Licensed to Live. And while you're there, rate this episode and any other episode. That way it helps me make sure that I'm providing you with the most up-to-date information about career challenges and life changes. And today is all about the future of work. And I think of using technology in the future of what you do all the time. And I can think of two specific moments in time where this happened before, and why should this time be any different? So, first of all, back in my days at Xavier University of Louisiana, shout out to XU, XXXXXXU. And actually, they recently sent me a class of 1995 handkerchief flag, as they use in New Orleans for second lines and parades and such. And that kind of blew my mind. One, looking at 1995, realizing that I graduated college 30 years ago now, and that makes me an old school alumnus. But what also makes me an old school alumni is that, hey, I think about going off to college with some cutting edge technology to help me through my studies at that time. And that new technology was called a word processor. Now, I know a lot of you fire starters are way too young to even understand what a word processor is, but basically it was a fancy typewriter in which if you made a mistake, you would be able to easily correct it, maybe before it even, typed on the actual page. So a word processor was an upgrade from a typewriter. So that's how long ago we're talking about, unfortunately for me. But this word processor helped me do papers and all these types of things that I didn't have to rely on typing and white out and, maybe a mistake or two made. But it was essential for my college studies. I use the technology. I use it for what it's worth. And honestly, I don't ever remember using that word processor again after college, but it was a tool I needed at the time. And the next big bout of technology that I found was even more influential on me and opened my eyes even more. And I will tell you more about this next technology that changed my work patterns right after we finish thanking our sponsor.
Something smells good. EH3 coffee. EH3 coffee. Premium organic. Nothing better than waking up. EH3 in your cup. Premium organic. EH3 coffee. Nothing better than in the middle of your day. EH3 coffee. Premium organic. EH3 coffee.
Hey guys, this is Janae Noonan, and I'm here with Dr. Jarrett on Licensed to Live. Hit the subscribe, follow the journey. Let's go.
The time is now to refresh your career. We help doctors, lawyers, executives, and VIPs refresh and restart. Dr. Jarrett's coaching helps you build confidence, gain more credibility, develop more leadership skills, and gain clarity in your career path. Want to climb the executive ladder or branch out on your own? We'll put your career in overdrive. Visit drjarrett.com and sign up for your free strategy session.
I mean it anytime, any place, timewithdrjarrett.com. Doesn't matter what your question is, what your issue is, what your problem is. Hit me up. I'm more than happy to talk. I love meeting new people, especially if you're a fan of this show. I'll slip you right in my calendar. Say no more. Now for this new technology, after I graduated from Xavier, things were rolling. I was on my way to medical school at Case Western, and Case Western Reserve University up in Cleveland, for those of you that don't know, really hit me over the head because I thought I was a cutting edge college student. Hey, I used a word processor through my undergraduate. Well. Going to Case Western, they really wanted to up things a notch because every new student got an Apple computer. Now, that's really something fancy. Now, the way they did this is by giving us something called an Apple, I think it was a Duo Dock or something like that. So it kind of looked like a Chromebook. So it was a mini laptop, but this mini laptop you could plug into a workstation and use it kind of like a PC with a big monitor in front of you. So you didn't have to use this small screened, like I said, it's more like a Chromebook than a real laptop because it really, needed some work. But it wasn't just this tool and having this really cool cutting edge, almost like a laptop Apple product at my disposal now. So this is way outshines that word processor that's probably now in a in a garbage can somewhere. Now I have real technology, and the tool that was most amazing to me was the internet. Yes, medical school was my introduction to the internet, and I had no idea how the internet would change everything. I remember the first time I actually get on this thing. How do you get on the internet? Oh, you just type something in. And you could type anything and it would give you information about all these different things. And it's right at the tip of your fingers. And it was so cool. Now, this is kind of crossed with sitting around and, when you got to order all these books and you have, a book list that's, 8 books long. These books are 1,000-page books and you got to read all this stuff and learn it and go test on it and go on and on and on, as medical school may do. But I felt like I was cutting edge technology having this Apple Duo Dock. Now, of course, over the years being there, they became quickly almost obsolete by the time I finished. But that's okay. It was a tool of the time. And so getting new tools introduced to you and the way you work is nothing new. It wasn't anything new when I was using a word processor in college, maybe this fancy Apple product in medical school. And it is nothing different than what you have to face today when you're looking at new tools and technology that can help you in your career. And maybe it might even take over your career. So I specifically am talking about the future of work, what this new work looks like. It doesn't matter the industry. I know a lot of you are in healthcare. Many of you are in engineering. Some of you guys are in law, and lots of VIP workplaces that you guys are going to every day. But the future of your work is going to change. Just like the future of my work changed with the word processor, the future of my work changed with access to the internet. And now here we are, lo and behold, we have artificial intelligence that further helps our automation. So what do we do with this now? I mean, everybody's getting afraid and says artificial intelligence, they're going to take our jobs, they're going to make our work different. And every technological tool makes our work different. So don't be afraid, folks. Don't be afraid. And we talked about, will AI take your job in an earlier episode? It's probably like 180 something. But we talked about that. And there are some jobs that AI is truly going to change. But, these are just machines and software systems that can perform tasks that maybe typically require human intelligence because they can do some problem solving, make some decision making, have excellent in pattern recognition, can write things for you. And that's great. And not to get confused with automation, which is the use of technology to perform these tasks with minimal human intervention. Some of you guys may put your bills on auto pay every month. That is automation, and that just makes it one less thing that you have to do because you're not thinking about the bills. The bills just get paid automatically out of your account. So, that's great. And we can talk about that. But let's look at AI, let's look at automation, and we can look at it in healthcare, obviously, because AI is already being used. It's being used in claims reviews. It's being used in diagnostic imaging. I've spoken with several radiologists, and they said, yeah, their jobs are starting to change a little because their eyes and the way they read films may be a little bit different. So this is where having that visual focus in radiology is an example where AI is pretty good at looking at these images, making diagnoses, getting early detection and things like cancer. So there's all great types of things that are going. But AI is not going to replace a human in radiology. But what I'm going to encourage for all of you fire starters out there is to go out there and play with this tool. There are tons of artificial intelligence tools out there. They all have different names. It's more than just ChatGPT out there. And I'm going to just say, if any of you guys may have graduated in the 90s and maybe used a word processor, there's some of you fire starters that have used a typewriter throughout your schooling. If you use old-fashioned tools like that, really push yourself to just get on AI. I'll tell you the first time I tried to play around, and I played around with ChatGPT, and I just said, well, let me see what it can do for me. And I just asked it a simple task, create maybe it was a 200 or 100 word bio of Dr. Jarrett R. Patton. And I just typed that in there, and it gave me a pretty darn good bio that was full of factual information, and it was full of factual information about me. And I said, oh, great. Next time somebody asks me to write a short bio, I can just pop it in the old AI and it'll pop out. Now, some of the caveats are, as I asked it to write longer and longer bios for me, well, it started taking the information that it knew about me and started to embellish on some of the information. It may have said something erroneous like, I served in a cabinet position for President Obama, whereas the reality is I simply drove some of his press staffers around in a motorcade when he came to town several years ago. So AI might just straight up and tell lies on you. So you can't totally rely on this. This is why AI is not going to take jobs. And that's why you have to be careful with even automation, because if you're automating things that are based in something that's not factual, it may only perpetuate some of these lies. So, well, there's probably going to be a room for DEI in AI. And I'll just say that and I'll leave it alone. So let me tell you some skills that you will definitely need in the future in this way. So besides challenging yourself and just using AI, I am going to come back with several skills that you need to continue to use to make yourself relevant despite the advancement of all of these things going on. And I'll get back to the skills you need to thrive in the future right after we finish thanking our sponsor. Hey, this is Dr. Jarrett Patton. Do you need more positivity in your life? No matter what part of your life you want to transform, positive affirmations can help you achieve your goals. But sometimes making permanent changes can be difficult. Designed with you in mind, Licensed to Live. Daily affirmations to rebuild your life will inspire and equip you to become the best version of yourself. Licensed to Live. Daily affirmations to rebuild your life will set you on the path to changing your mindset, beliefs, speech, and ultimately your actions. You can change your life now by getting your copy at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, your finer book retails, or licensedtolive.com. That's licensedtolive.com. And if you guys haven't had time to use affirmations in your life, there are lots of ways you can bring more positivity in it. So obviously, I use affirmations as something that helps me stay focused and keep a positive relationship. But just like having an emotional intelligence or having a regular intelligence quotient, you actually have a positive intelligence. And positive intelligence is something else that I've been working on with a few of my clients to really help them understand the role of their sage wisdom and finding out all the saboteurs that are sidetracking and taking people away from the wins and the victories that should be coming in everyday life. So if you have more questions or want to know more about positive intelligence, or even understand what some of the saboteurs are in your life, make sure you hit me up, timewithdrjarrett.com. Now let's talk about the skills that you're going to need to thrive in the future. There's so many different things that you can do for yourself, but let's start about the first things first, kind of what we've been talking about this whole episode, which is the technology. Number one, have technological literacy. Now, I'm not saying you need to be an expert with all the greatest and latest tools that are out there. Not even saying you need to be an expert in artificial intelligence. However, you need to have a working understanding in how these tools can be used both within your industry and outside of your industry. I mean, there are some things that you can use AI for to help with your job searching process. I mean, there are so many different things that you can do. Just play around with it. Spend some time and commit to play around with it. And this technology can pop up anywhere, any place, any industry, because truth being told, technology is what keeps advancing us, which helps keeping us doing things faster and more efficiently than we ever have. So again, even if you have some aversion to new technology, commit to yourself to just learn a little bit about AI. Hey, heck, let me know about it on social media. Hit me up on Twitter at Dr. Jarrett. Spell out the word Dr. JA2RE1T, because I want to know about what you are doing with learning this new technology right now. Some of you guys have already figured out how to shorten workflows in an amazing way. So I love hearing these secrets. Number two, keep using the things that make you human. Whereas your emotional intelligence I'm talking about. Yes, machines are great at reading, understanding, interpreting, processing data, but they can't replicate these human emotions. Now, they'll try. I've been on with some AI that definitely were catching some attitude with me when I was catching attitude with it for not being able to do the task that I thought I was simply asking it to do. Kind of treating it like a real employee that was not living up to quite the standards that you would expect. However, I want you to remember to use your emotional intelligence and be aware of your emotional intelligence, because whether you're in leadership, whether you're in healthcare, whether you're in sports and entertainment, having that connection to your emotions, knowing how it works within you, and being aware of how to understand it in others is going to take you a very long way and keep those AI computers off your back. The next thing I want you to do, number 3, think about your ability to be creative and problem solve. Even if you think you are not creative, you are going to be more creative than your basic computer, your basic tool, your basic technology. Because at the end of the day, most of the times you have to go forward with that. You have to find ways in which the technology can be made to be more creative. And this is where you come in. I mean, if I use artificial intelligence to help edit my next book that I have coming out, well, it's going to help give me some good editing information. And it may even try to be creative in the way it edits. So it may even try to add maybe erroneous or not factual material in that too. So using your own creativity and your own ability to problem solve can help make the tools of AI and even things that you may automate even more, they will go even more smoothly. Number 4 is data interpretation. Well, you still need to know how to interpret data because, these computers can crunch numbers like no other, but it's going to take that human thought to go dot to dot to dot to dot, especially in things that may be a little more abstract, let's say. That abstractness may throw off a linear thinking model. And that's okay. So again, we're going to need you to interpret all of the data, not just the numbers that come out of something, but looking at the whole picture. And that's something that you do as a leader. That's something you may do as a physician. That is something that you're certainly going to do as an attorney. Look at all of these things as they are and help you make better decisions. Number 5, collaborate with technology. Yeah, obviously the future of work is not about humans versus machines and what they can do, some sort of crazy Godzilla versus Roboto that went out of control or something. It's really about humans working with machines and making them better. So in order for you to collaborate with AI and other automation tools, it's going to be essential in virtually every single profession. And it's that collaboration that I want you to just say, hey, I am going to embrace the use of new technology that's out here. And I may not be an expert, but I know people can use it. I know it can make things better for me. And I know I'm not going to always be right, but you have to be willing to give it a try. So all of these skills you're going to need in order to continue to be in demand in your own workplace and in your future workplace. You're going to need some technological literacy. You're going to need to continue to work on your emotional intelligence. Use your innate human creativity and problem-solving skills to get around some of these automation pitfalls. And hey, I know everybody thinks these machines can interpret data like no other, but yes, AI today still makes mistakes. It still makes mistakes. And finally, if you're having any other issues out there, make sure you're collaborating with the technology. Take a little day course, take an online course. learn a little bit more about some new technology that you may be able to incorporate in your own life, which will not only further your career, it's just going to further your advancement. As I think back to that word processor, and now I'm just sitting here recording in the studio with this podcast. Well, a lot of things happen over the course of 30 years. And sadly, it's just a college anniversary for me. Some of you guys, it may be, you have a kid that's having a 30th anniversary. Others of you may be having a 30th anniversary from your 20th anniversary of school. But no matter what that is, no matter where you are, I appreciate you guys tuning into this show, and we will see you next time.
No matter how disheartening the moment of accusation sounds, how deep the pain of immobilization stabs, or how bleak your future looks, no one can take away your license to live. Keep Dr. Jarrett's expertise handy and unlock your future. Go to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or another podcast player and subscribe right now to Licensed to Live. See you next time.